Awesome. Amazing, guys. So, like I said, if you have not already done so, ensure you share this link everywhere shareable your status is, so we can get straight into what we have for today, right? Okay. So I think we've been able to migrate bulk of people from Zoom all the way here. Like I said, we apologize. We really did think we're going to be able to handle everybody, but that number skyrocketed at last minute. So let's just work with this. Okay, so let's go straight into the webinar. So the webinar is focused, like I said, at a major recurrence, right? Even prior to even us having this webinar, I just like to put a disclaimer, right? If you, or let me use it like this, an admonition, right? I posted this webinar, one of the groups that we are having, or that we I mean, and when I posted it, I saw a very funny response, right? Which it made me sad, right? So I just thought to talk about it before, I move on. I posted a webinar about, the cycle of people having to save and spend and save and spend. And the next response I got from somebody was, this webinar should be targeted at people who have rich parents and have allowance to give them. I know somebody who suffered through school. I know that's what someone was saying, which is, relatively very fine. We understand that people, didn't really get the best while going to school, which, like I said, we understand, right? But listen, and I smiled at the person. Then somebody commented and said, where is the money saved to even save? You must be ready to reorient your mindset if you are going to change, right? Does that make sense? If you are going to make progress, then you must be able to reorient your what? Your mindset. If you cannot reorient your mindset, then you won't be able to make progress. It's something you must realize. Does that exactly make sense? You must be able to reorient your mindset. This is super vital. Does that make sense? Be able to reorient your mindset, right? There are people here, the bitter truth is, you don't have results, right? You don't have results. It's been working for so long. I mean, your lack of results has been, mindset, right? Has been, available for so long. Does that make sense? And all I'm saying is, it really doesn't cost you anything to just learn. Do you understand? This is so important, guys. You must just come to that point. Does that make sense, right? Where you are able to learn, right? I had to reply from a very passionate standpoint, so you can just know and see my heart. We're not charging a dime for this webinar. So let's go straight into what we have for today, right? So now, like I said, the first thing we'll be doing is a very basic. Give me a second. I'm trying to bring my slides to the front. Okay, I'm assuming you are seeing my slides. So like I said, the first thing you must be able to realize is that it does not have to be like that, right? The major dilemma of people going to school, saving up, having businesses here and there, and then coming back to meet to the house, and then what do you meet suddenly, right? And I'm sure that's a major case with bulk of us now, right? You have thousands you've saved in school, maybe you're doing a business or something, and then all of a sudden you come back home, and then you made up your mind that you are not going to spend this money. You made up your mind that you are going to be disciplined. You made up your mind, all the making up your minds that people do, right? And then you too, you can't explain exactly how, right? But then the last thing that you remember is that, something looked so important to buy, right? Am I lying? And then, eventually you got to discover that your money was wasted. Does that make sense? I'm Okay, this is the slide I'm looking for. I don't know why it's loading backwards, but that's fine. Right. So like I was saying, right? And that has been the dilemma for bulk of us, right? We have had to run through that cycle again and again and again, right? You make all the money in school and then you squander at home. Now, if that alone happens, I don't want to say that is fine. But listen, what happens is that whenever you save and you end up squandering that which you have saved, what you will realize, or what you are not realizing, is that you are actually destroying or reducing your motivation to save the next time. Does that make sense? Because what's happened is that you've said, well, I just, went through unnecessary suffering here and there. And I mean, here am I, right? All the money just gone into maybe an iPhone or maybe a party or something, right? And that's where the challenge is. And that's where I want to start, right? I want to start from, what I believe is the major challenge in saving, right? We may not realize, but listen. I want you to listen so carefully if you've not been listening, but I believe you have been listening. You see, okay, let's start with a little about me. My name is Bolu, founder, lead trader, and head analyst at Trade Bolu, right? We have an academy where we train students interested in the foreign exchange financial market with over 1,000 students enrolled in various courses, right? I've completed the Nairobi Business Symposium, by Roberts University. I'm a specialist in idea to start off from Technion Israel Institute of Technology. I'm also a certified Microsoft Office specialist. And I've also completed the Social Media Impact course by Roberts University, US. I have over 7 years experience in the foreign exchange market. And I'm really passionate just to see young people legitimately make wealth. This is so important. The word legitimately is the most, because hush puppy's way is not the only way. Does that make sense? You don't have to steal, you don't have to defraud people, right? Whether or not he's, that's not the contention here, but I really do believe, right, that you don't have to steal. Are you hearing me? I don't believe you have to steal to make it, as it were, right? There are ways that you can go through, and I do not believe it has to be when you are old, right? And so I'm so passionate about seeing people make that kind of progress. Does that make sense, guys? So let's progress, right? So we've spent some time in preparation. Now I want you to write this in your notes. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. And I want you to write it and take a second to think about this. You do not grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. There is a very serious myth in the financial world. Like I said, I was so, touched when I was, interacting with some people, and I was seeing them, say things like, where is the money to save? Where is you see, that is the endless loop that people get into. When I have plenty, then I will. Listen, it is you doing it that actually makes it plenty. That's something many people have not realized. When I'm making a million, and it's a lie. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen like that. As a matter of fact, the solution to somebody who spends more than he earns is not more money. That's where we must start from. You hear people say things, and if you're in a Nigerian home like I am in, you hear things like, when the let's say the container of milk is small or something, you hear things like, manage it to is remaining small. And that's a great challenge. You shouldn't manage it because it is small. You should manage so it doesn't get small, right? The lifespan of any resource, right, is a function of its management. Things will be around for as long as they are managed properly, right? So if you are not learning how to manage that 10 naira, that 10,000 naira, right? I mean, having a dream that when you have $10,000, you're going to automatically learn how to manage it. It's a lie. Does that make sense? You have to fight against that myth, right? Because people say it's just small money, it's just small money, it's just that just is why you are just where you are. Does that make sense? Right? So that's where I want to start from. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to what? To grow big. This is an amazing statement I heard from Dr. David Oyedepo, right? I don't know if he's the author of the statement or, he caught it from somewhere. But primarily, right, you do not manage well, you do not grow big to manage well. That's where I want to start from, right? And that's a major challenge, right? I don't want to dwell too much on that because, like I said, we've wasted time. I have a comprehensive slide on that, but I'll just make progress, right? Now we're going to, explore something which is so important. I want you to pay serious attention. Right, we're going to explore something. The 3 phases of wealth creation. And I'm exploring this for a reason, right? I know this is a webinar that you expect me to just come and just give you 10 steps to not spending your money at home. Listen, you have to understand what phase you are in, right? A guy came to me and he wanted to purchase an iPhone, right? And he asked me, Sabi, should I buy this iPhone? And I said, that's a very serious question, right? Because I can't answer it for you, right? For many reasons, which we're going to see as we proceed, along the way. Does that exactly make sense? Okay. So, prior to my, procession of proceeding, right, I want to confirm that everyone can hear me even loud and clear, right? As the webinar is going on, I want to receive your interaction. Does that make sense, guys? So, I mean, if you can hear me, if you can see me, see the slides, let's pause and just ensure, give me that feedback. Give me that feedback, right? As we get into the 3 phases of wealth creation, right? Maybe I should tell you a little background story because, some people believe I was born into a family that, was just a billionaire family. Me going, I wish you. Sadly, it did not happen so. Does that make sense? It did not happen so. I wish I was born into that billionaire family, but it did not happen so, right? My parents were not poor. They didn't beg, right? But the truth is that, I've said it jokingly, my father tried his best, an amazing man, and then hard work from that man. But I never got what I wanted when I wanted it. I don't know if this happens to you guys and if you guys can relate. Back then, there used to be a shoe. They call it Supra, right? It used to be these boots. And then, I wanted Supra so much. Oh no, it started from Tom's, Toms. That's, loafer kind of sneakers. I wanted it badly, but then I could not afford it, right? So by the time Tom's has gone out of season, right, it was Supra then. So because it has gone out of season, it now becomes cheap. Now that it's cheap, then I'll now be able to buy it. Does that make sense? So I was always behind in the train of what was trending as a child. And I mean, it was so painful, right? Because, I mean, like I said, I knew my father was, and he's still not a lazy man. He's one of the most amazing people on the earth. He did what he could with what he knew. Does that make sense, right? So as I was saying something, I was always behind in the trend, right? By the time I'm buying the clothes, it's behind the trend. And it was just always so painful, right? It was so painful because, I mean, I just wanted to be in the trend now. I wanted to be a reigning guy. I wanted to be a happening guy, right? So somehow, some way, I began to look up this thing on finances. I began to ask myself, does it have to be, is it an exclusive reality for old people? I mean, all of that, I was so concerned. And so when my mates were, we used to have pocket money of 1,500 naira in school. I'll sit down and I'll be writing how I'm spending my money every single day. I had this green book and I began to grow that attitude. I began to grow and began to multiply. And I mean, up to some of you saw where I wrote in my text box. Yeah, my text box that's I made my first million at 18. Yes, when I did, I could not sleep that night because it looked like a dream. Is this money for me? I mean, it's not that this money, it's not my school fees. It is my money, right? It was so amazing. It was so amazing. And, we were able to, diversify, invest that portfolio and just multiply that money, right? So let's move on. The three phases of wealth creation. This is so vital and I want you to pay attention. Number one, wealth generation, wealth preservation, and wealth multiplication. I repeat that. Wealth generation, and this is where it comes to making your money. Wealth preservation, keeping your money. Wealth multiplication, growing your money. He that has a tap, fetches from that tap with a basket, right? You realize that he's equal to the person who does not have a tap. Did you hear what I said? He that has a tap and fetches from that tap with a basket is equal to the person that does not have a tap. He who makes money but has not found out how to keep money will eventually be like the guy who cannot make money. Does that make sense? Now, this webinar is not focused on money generation. I'm hoping to have another webinar on that, right? Money generation, value and all of that, but we're not doing that now. We're looking at two major things, right? In the phases of wealth creation, and that is keeping your money and growing your money. I was talking about a group where I posted this, and somebody was saying, what did they the person was saying, you cannot really, I think investing is better than saving, and all of those. Listen, you cannot invest what you don't have, and you cannot have what you did not keep, and you cannot keep what you did not make. Do you understand? So the man who is talking about investment is the man who first has to invest. This is so vital, right? And a lot of us have not learned how to keep our money. And I've emphasized this for some of us that have signed up to my newsletter. We have seen me emphasize this times without number. A lot of people do not even know how to keep their money, right? They don't know how to keep money. This is so vital, right? Let's move on so we were able to see all of these things, right? Okay, we'll start from wealth preservation. Like I said, we're not talking about wealth generation in this seminar. We're talking about wealth preservation. The why, the how, and the when, right? Now listen, I don't know. I think a slide is missing here. I want you to take your book or whatever you're writing on. I believe you're serious and you are writing, right? Every serious student takes notes in everywhere. Now I want you to look up something. Write out the word motivation. motivation. Motivation, right? You hear people say, sir, how are you always motivated to do what you're doing here and there? Listen, the word motivation, right, is from the word motive. Are you hearing me? A lot of us do not know why we are saving. Let me pause for a few seconds and ask, why are you saving? Why are you saving? Quick question. I want to get responses from people. Why are you saving? You hear things like, well, I want to get something. Oh, some of you just sit down. Actually, why am I keeping this money? Why are you saving? Let me get your responses. Why exactly are you saving? This is so vital that I start from there. Because this is where there is a... Anyway, we'll get to all of that. I don't want to go ahead of myself. But why are you saving? Ask yourself that question. Why are you saving? Why am I saving? For some of us, we are saving solely to, save ourselves from the guilt of being irresponsible. Does that make sense? There's a way they can make you look in Nigeria. So you mean to tell me you are eating all your money? How many of us have heard that kind of thing, right? Type why you are saving in the comments. I want to hear all of those reasons, right? I mean, I think there's a lag here, but I'll try and wait up till I can get through, right? Why are you saving? You hear things like, for so many people, they are just saving because it will be irresponsible if you ask them, why are you saving, and they don't have any response. So you mean to tell me, like I said, you are eating all your money? You are spending all your money? I met a final year student right? And she said to me, well, I asked her, jokingly, I'm sure you're saving. She said, no. Uh-uh. I said, are you joking? She said, no. I said, why? She said her mother told her that when she was in university, she eventually saved, in quote, suffered. Does that make sense? I can see David. David says, really, I don't know. He doesn't know why he's saving. See what I'm saying? Chiduto says, Chinedu Chiduto says she wants to move out of her parents' house. To whose house? Whose house are you going to? But that's fine. Now let me make progress. So when I asked her, she said her mother said that, all the savings that she saved in school. I hear what I'm saying. All the savings that she saved in school, eventually, as she graduated, she got an amazing job, and she didn't have to save again. Use all the money that she saved. So she said that was what her mother told her. So she has believed that she does not need to save. She will just come out and get an amazing job, and voila. Does that make sense? She's going to be, financially free. And so she packed all the savings that she was saving, and as she was saving, and she started spending recklessly. Why are you saving? Why should I be keen on wealth preservation? Now I want you to write this down. I'm trying to keep this webinar. There are only two ways to make money. Are you hearing me? There are only two ways to make money. Number one, you are working for money. Number two, money is working for you. I want you to write that down very clearly. You are working for money, and money is working for you when we get to investments. Does that make sense? And we're going to see something soon. You are keen on wealth preservation, and you should be interested in saving, not to spend on liabilities. That's how poor people spend, from income to liabilities. How do rich people spend? From income. I want you to pay attention. That will generate, they spend those income on assets. Those assets will generate returns. Are you hearing me? Those returns are what they spend on liabilities. I'll say that again. You should spend from income to assets, and those assets should generate returns, and those returns should be used to spend on liabilities. Does that make sense? This is so vital. I have to start from here. I'm not assuming everybody knows this, because this is a general thing, but I'm not assuming. I'm starting from the crux, the basics, right? So listen. No. When you hear people say things like, the reason I cannot save is that I am in debt, I like to reverse it. The reason you will stay long, because listen, if I'm working to pay off my debt, the only other way that I can earn is by money working for me. That means we now have two ways working to clear up that debt faster. So thinking debt is an excuse not to save is the reason why you are staying longer in that debt. You have to realize this. This thing is a pseudo loop. It's an endless loop that you must guard against. I do not have enough money. Exactly. That is why you need to quickly get another source of income. And there are only two ways. You're working for money, money is working for you. Does that make sense? Now I want you to write this down in your notes, right? While I breeze on through quickly. I want you to write this down quickly in your notes. Financial freedom occurs. I intentionally do not put some things on my slides, right? I don't put them intentionally so that people can pay attention, right? I notice that a lot of people just read the slides, right? So that people can pay attention. It's an intentional action, right? I could put all these things on my slides, but I make them as keen as possible so you'll be forced to listen to me. So as I was saying, financial freedom occurs when your passive income exceeds your living expenses. I'll say that again. Financial freedom occurs when your passive income exceeds your living expenses. So let me give you an example of what I mean. By the time I gather how much I spend or I need to live my dream life, let's say it's 100,000, I must be able to have passive income streams What is passive income? Passive income is basically money working for you. For example, I put my money in an investment and it's generating, right? I must, if my dream life requires that I live 100,000 per month, then I must be able to generate a passive income source that generates more than 100,000 naira per month, sorry, such that if I don't work again in my life, or you hear what I'm saying, I still have the ability to live my dream life from that source. Does that make sense? Until your passive income exceeds your living expenses, you cannot claim to be financially free, right? So why are you saving? You are saving to increase those sources of passive income up until that point where it exceeds your living expenses, right? I'm taking time to dwell on this because this is so fundamental. I hope we're following me, guys. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to address the actual situation, but I'm taking so much time to dwell on this for a reason. Because a lot of people do not know why. And when you don't have the right motive, you will lack motivation. If you don't have the right motive, you will lack motivation. I'm just saving, the money is in my account, I don't have any target, I'm not saving towards anything, and now suddenly, right, something comes up, and you know the way these copywriters have a way of doing that thing. How many of us understand what I'm saying? Talk to me in the comments. You know, they'll make it look like it's so urgent. Do you understand what I'm saying? And what would they do? They'll say $200, slash it down to 0.2 cents. And what would they tell you? They'll tell you that this offer closes in 2 hours. And you know the way our world is. Our world is structured in such a way that most of us do not know when we actually grant access to cookies and all of these things on our web browser. So as you are browsing for things, right, as you are searching the internet too is searching you. And so they know, they have seen your track record that you consistently will browse for maybe Brazilian hair for the boys. Maybe, I don't know what you search for. Does that make sense? And what would they do? They will direct traffic to you consistently. That's what we call persuasive advertisement. Consistently. I hear what I'm saying? So how many of us have seen those kind of things? What you finish searching on Jumia, you're on another page and suddenly you are seeing those ads. Right? You know, I remember one of those days, my brother said, I don't like searching for stuff on Jumia, right? When I'm done searching for stuff, they will now start showing it to everybody. I said, it's not everybody, it's only you. He said, they will now start showing it to everybody, right? And I don't like buying things that are common, right? Digital marketer, will call it, they are chasing you. They are chasing you. You see it everywhere you go. How many of you have been so startled, right? And now what do you see? You now see a time, limit. Right? From $200, now it is $20. This offer is closing in the next 2 hours. And then you sit down and you say, how many of us, you sit down and you be like, after all, I think I should reward myself. I did pretty good this semester in saving. I mean, it won't be a bad idea for me to, what does it mean? I should just get myself a shoe. I mean, and eventually, when you get yourself the shoe, you wear it. Or you get yourself maybe a phone, right? And by if they are, in Nigeria, they say something here, they are chasing you from the village. By the time you walk a few steps or you do something, and then your phone falls down, and then you don't know where to start from. So this is so important. Wealth preservation is vital. You must start it, and you must start it for the right reasons, right? So let's not overflow that. Let's make progress. Like I said, motive fuels motivation. And you must start from the end in mind. You must see where you want to get to before you start the journey. Does that make sense? No matter how intelligent a GPS is, you have to tell it where you are going. There is no GPS that reads your mind, right? So this is super important. I have to emphasize this, right? You must start from the end in view. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, how should I save? I want to quickly touch on this. Then we move to the actual subject matter of the day. How should I save? Now we have many kinds of savings. You have colo. Colo is what they call, you make a box and then you put the money inside it daily and like that. And then we have people that save in the banks, and we have people that save in fintechs. Fintechs are what we call piggy vests, carry wise, wherever fintech is in your area. I want to pay serious attention because this is what I want you to realize. And like I said, I do not write these things on the slides for a reason because I want you to pay attention. Most of us are saving backward. I'll say this again. Most of us are what? Saving backwards. What do I mean by saving backwards? Most of us are saving backwards. What I mean by saving backwards is you have not realized. I won't touch on a lot of things, but I'll talk about inflation. Inflation is a killer. I sent out a newsletter on inflation. A couple of someone is asking how to get a newsletter. Someone should respond to him. I sent out a message on inflation. You see, a lot of people do not know that they are going backwards slowly. See, I've said it before. There are two ways to go backwards. Number one, step back. Number two, stay where you are. The world will leave you and eventually you'll be backwards. And I explain this usually by trends. If you are let's say fashion trend is in a fashion is trendy, right? If you just stay there, the world will leave you and trend further. A lot of us are saving backwards. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This is so important. Let me give you an example. Do you know something? Let me use a practical example. For example, if you are in Nigeria, like I am, Nigeria is an amazing country. You see, let me not even go into Nigeria. This webinar will just become 2 hours. But at the rate you are going, is well. That's all I'll say. At the rate we are going, again, that's all I'll say. I believe God and I believe in positivity. I believe the country will get better one day in life. Right? But if you should go by the intellectual analysis, that day in life doesn't look anytime close. So you've got to set up yourself. Last week, Naira was about 530, 520. As we speak, a Naira to a dollar has, listened to me carefully, so you don't just begin to think you are rich. Some of you are rich in arrears. You have 500,000 Naira in your bank. You don't know you are, and you just stored it up there. You are losing money. Listen to me carefully. Nigeria has reached the all-time low. Currency-wise, I will say it again. Nigeria, your country, our beloved country, has reached the all-time low. I will say it one last time so you think about it. Nigeria has reached the all-time low. What do I mean? This is the least our currency has been in the existence of our currency. It should get you to start thinking very fast. Let me give you a very practical thing, right? If you saved, I always use the example. At the beginning of the year thereabout, or I can't remember the exact time. If you saved 500,000, you had approximately $1,000. That's at 500, right? That's about 2 months ago. Listen to me carefully. Now, $1 is 543 or 42 Naira, if I can relate. And pounds is about 700. Listen and be wise. A lot of people don't know this. Your money is going by keeping it in Naira. I just have to shout it straight into your face. Well, I'm saving 1,000. See, it's not more 1,000 Naira. The buying power of that thing is going down. Are you hearing me? A lot of us are saving backwards. And I always have to stress this. If you must save in a currency who has, minimal inflation rates. And a major way to do this is to save in dollars. Are you hearing me? Is to save in dollars or save in pounds. Now, saving in pounds is quite, I was looking up, I think the euro or the pound inflation rate is about 3%. Listen, Nigeria's inflation rate was, I think, 18% or between 18 and 21%. Anyway, we're going to see something. Because I don't want to go ahead of myself, but this stuff touches my heart that a lot of people have not realized this. In your mind, you will keep your money in the bank. The bank will give you 6%, debit you, debit you, debit you, and that money is still there, and inflation is dealing with it. Soon you withdraw that money after 5 years of hard saving backwards, and you realize that money cannot buy anything. It's something that you must come to the consciousness of, right? So for me, for start off, I would usually advise all of the time. And every time I advise like this, people say things like, it's because, see, listen to me. I have tried a lot. In this country, let me give you an analysis so you understand what I'm saying. The last time, don't let me bore you with that. That would take so much of time. But listen to me. The last time we had this the last time we had CBN take an action that they took, right? Sorry, can we hear me now? We had a short outage, right? Like I was saying, the last time we had this, are you hearing me? The last time we had them take this action, that was when we had a very serious drawdown with the naira. There was a prediction, right? Are you hearing me? There was a prediction that the naira may actually reach $900, 900 naira to $1 by the end of this year. See, while you are praying for the country, take a stand financially, not to be affected by what is going on. This is so vital. I have to always emphasize and emphasize and re-emphasize and re-emphasize. You have to take a stand. So one of the best ways I would tell you to start off, because if saving in dollars, if to have a dollar account in this country, you have to have minimum of $1,000, which as at now is 540,000 plus, right? And you have to go through processes, you have to go through stress, you have to go through screening. So I would usually advise, for me, right, as at the point of this webinar, right, one of the best ways you can save in dollars that I have seen, and to me which is the easiest, is by saving with PiggyVest, right? Are you hearing what I'm saying? PiggyVest has a flex dollar account where you can save in dollars, right? Does that make sense? And you just simply, compound that in dollars. This is, and every time I say this and I give people my PiggyVest link, listen to me carefully. PiggyVest referral is 1,000 naira. I'm not looking for 1,000 naira. Are you hearing me? It is 1,000 naira, right? So if you feel like, my link is I'm saying this is the easiest I have seen to save in dollars, right? My link is in the description. You can create an account and start now, right? So a lot of us are saving backwards. We do not know how to save, right? So I do not advise colo. I do not advise bank savings, right? But this is not financial advice. My opinion, and what I use tentatively amongst many other ways, is to do, work with PiggyVest, right? And I think you should too. It will help you preserve your savings. Now let's flip it. While you lose by saving in naira, others gain by saving in dollars. If you had $1,000 by the ending of last year, you had 400,000. Now, if you have that same $1,000, if you kept it just the way it is, are you hearing what I'm saying? As we speak now, that is $540,000. Some of you worked money tonight, you don't even get that, and the little one you want to keep it in the bank again, right? So this is so vital, right? So let me just make progress. So we go to the next, portion, right? So the next we'll have is, when should I save? I don't know whether we could see this or not, but I think you should be able to zoom in on your YouTube screen, right? I'm not going to talk too much. This picture is a book. It's an excerpt from a book, The Automatic Millionaire. The Automatic Millionaire, right? I just took a screenshot from that book to show you something, right? I think you should be able to zoom in and see by yourself. It's quite small here. I tried to make it better, but this is the best I can get. Please bear with me. Now listen to me. Go through this book. Now the first column, we have 3 people whose saving lives were compared. Are you hearing me? The first one is Billy, the second one is Susan, and the third person is Kim. Billy started investing at age 15. You can see that by the top. And it's the same 10% annual return. Just 10% in a year. Are you hearing me? Which is doable. Piggyvest gives you 13% per year. Right? Now listen, at age 15, Billy saved 3,000, 16, 3,000, and up to 19. So Billy only saved for 5 years. Are you guys following? And Billy saved 15,000, and from that, never put in any money again, and was just compounding. By the time Billy was 65, Billy had 1,615,000 plus. Are you paying attention? Now, Susan started at 19 and invested 3,000 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Remember, Billy invested 15,000, right? But Susan is investing 24,000 because she started 4 years later. Listen, at the age where both of them are 65, Susan has $1,500,000. Now let's go to Kim. Kim started at 27. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And Kim invested $117,000. By 65, Kim still has less than Billy. If you think time is not in the equation, I think this should do a lot of explanation to you. Does that make sense, guys? The name of the book is The Automatic Millionaire. Someone said it's a bit blurry. I apologize, Just ensure you join the channel. I'll send the page to you. Right? Just ensure you join the financial channel. The link will be sent also to join. Does that make sense, guys? So this is so vital, like I said. Do you understand what I'm saying? She invested 15,000 less and see how much she gained. Sorry, only 15,000 and she's the richest. So you have to start as soon as possible. This is amazing, right? As soon as possible, right? So let's move on so we don't, overflog that issue. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Okay. So we'll post a picture on the channel. Okay. Thank you, right? So let's move on. The next one is okay, no, this slide, what's happening here? Something is happening. Give me a second. Okay, when? I'm sorry, I don't know why my slide is messed up. Okay, so we've tackled the why, the how, and the what, the when, right? So let's move on to the actual crux of the webinar: keeping and compounding the money you saved in school. I want to give you 5 key steps to handle the challenge of millionaire in school, broke at home, right? Some of the days you see all these memes, when people say things like, Mommy, if you know who I am in school, you will not send me to go and buy bread. I remember one of those days, see, no matter how rich you get, you are somebody's child. This is so, it's just something I just, like to. So, millionaire, and African press, they will still send you to buy bread. Mommy, I'm a star in school, no problem. That means they should answer you faster on the line. Something like that. So one of these days, I was working intensively, and my mommy sent me to go and buy something from the stores. And I was walking, my hair was scattered. She just sent me. So I just wore slippers, wore shorts, I was shy, not naked, just wore clothes anyhow. I went on the streets. By the time I got on the streets, I got to where I was buying stuff, so close to my house. By the time I was coming back, I heard somebody shouting, Bolu, Jesus, I wanted to evaporate. I said, it's a lie. The days when I wear my three-piece suits, nobody is calling me. The first time I dress anyhow, my goodness, I wanted to just, melt and all of that, right? So at the crux of what I'm saying, I'm going to give you 5 steps to be a billionaire, a millionaire, but billionaire, yeah, believe it, man. Billionaire both in school and at home. Number one, write this down. Savings and spending account differentiation. Me, I don't understand, dude, how people do it. And maybe somebody you are saying you are saving in the same account you are spending. That's a very serious danger. If you don't have access to create a bank account, every time I say this, it sounds like I'm just, and I've emphasized this. Piggyverse referral is 1,000 naira. It's not even in dollars. It's in naira. Does that make sense? I'm saying this because there's a reason I'm saying this, and you'll see this soon. Right? Save differently from where you spend. That's where I want to start from. And most of us have already, handled this. This is not a major issue, so I'm not, emphasizing on this. Number 2, listen. Vary the ease of access as your savings increase. Let me give you an example. You started saving 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Now, it gets to a point where, let's say you now 50,000, right? Don't leave that money in that same account, right? Take it somewhere that it is harder to access it. Now you see why I'm recommending fintechs. Now listen to me. I'm not. I have to just put this disclaimer. They have been up for a while, and I mean they have a good reputation. See, anything that happens, don't come and say I'm the one that. But I mean, I'm aware they have about 1 billion naira per month into. So I'm aware that they're standing, but I'm not affiliated and connected to. Not that you cannot access your account. You message their customer care. I don't like unnecessary messages, right? Does that make sense too? Right. So a package in Piggyverse is what they call safe lock. Safe lock, you can actually lock money for a while. So some of you should carry and you can't access it, and you get higher interest. So once let's say you have 50,000 naira savings, take about 30,000, safe lock it for 4 years, 2 years, 1 year. See, even if you are dying, you can't access it. Do you understand? Don't give your indiscipline a chance. So as the savings, as the quantity increases, vary the ease of access of a portion. That's number 2. Number 3 is a very serious key. It's called automation. And I read this from the book, The Automatic Millionaire. Listen, we are human beings. And as human beings, the tendency for indiscipline is very available. Are you hearing me? What automation does not give you the chance to even be disciplined. Did you hear what I said? When you automate, you lose the chance to be indisciplined. What's automation? And again, when I recommend fintechs against banks, you are saying ABC. Like I said, listen. What automation does is that automation you can give an instruction, right? Or let me even pause and ask this question. How many of us have newsletters that we have signed up to, right? That we never read, but we just forget to sign up to them. You understand what I'm saying? Newsletters that we have never read, they are disturbing you. Like, there are some companies that are super expert in consistent sending of newsletters. Companies like Jumia Black Friday. You just see orange everywhere. Jumia does not give up on their customers. I mean, So you see the amazing people in email marketing. Uche from boats. People that's friends in time of need. If nobody checks up for you. Uche from boats, I've forgotten all these names. I used to have them. Eri from Real Vest, they're just amazing people. They will check up on you. I don't really care. Don't check up on me. I have people that love me. So I mean, but the truth is that some of us have never bought all of those things, and they are disturbing you. But You shall not unsubscribe. You shall be seeing it. When you automate, chances are that you are going to forget. Are you hearing me? And so by the time the money goes, then you're like, it's my future. It's my the process of withdrawing that money is usually stressful. So that laziness will just help you. Does that make sense? By the time you go there, put your account number, just if it's just 1K, just 5K, you know. So that's so important, right? Automate it. Now, for the banks, if you are saving in banks, you have to go and give a standing order. But if you are saving with a fintech, for example, PiggyVest, all you have to do is at a click, right? There is a certain amount of money that is taken from my account every single day, right? Thank you, Okwe from Carrywise. I was looking for that name. I just saw it. Automate it, right? Automate it, right? For some of you, it won't be daily; it will be weekly. For some of you that receive your allowance, maybe you receive your allowance maybe on the second. For some of you that don't even receive allowance, just put a day where you know that chances are I will have money. At this time of every month, take away 5K. By the time it takes it away, go and convert it to Flex Dollar. Keep it there. Automate it. Automation is the system that doesn't even give you the chance to be indisciplined. So it doesn't even touch your account first. Does that make sense? Number 4, you must guard against pseudo-reasons. The word pseudo just means false. F-A-L-S-E. Right? F-A-L-S-E. And I'm going to explain what I mean by pseudo-reasons. Now, let's say you are a content designer. There are real reasons, and let me just give you a very funny example. There is I'm a I'm a Christian by religion, and there are many other religions which is your choice. But in Christianity, there's something called evangelism. And I don't know if it happens in other religions too. So it's where you want to share the gospel of Christ. So you go out and then let's say you're teaching somebody, right? So at some point in time, usually on evangelism, when you have Christian brothers and sisters, I'll just be looking at them. The first day, after evangelism, let's say the soul got one, then you need to save begin to teach, train up the person, right? They call that discipleship, right? So in discipleship, you have consistent conversations, show the person, and just bring the person up in the proper way, right? So some of the days, I'll see some of those Christian brothers. You are visiting this lady in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. Brother Timothy, what's happening between you and Sister Favor? And Brother Timothy will say, oh, nothing. It's just evangelism. The soul must be saved. It must not go to hell. I say, okay, she will not go to hell in Jesus' name. Amen. Is there any Timothy on this call and Favor? I mean, I don't know. It may just be a word for you. So moving on. So you get there and you go again. You see, Brother Timothy is working with Sister Favor. Brother Timothy, what? No, I just needed to show her some things from scripture. Now, you see, the truth is that Brother Timothy may be sincerely interested in Sister Favor, right? That is the actual reason. Brother Timothy has preached to 10 people. He did not go and follow the remaining 9 up. He's only preaching to Sister Favor. What really is happening there is that the real reason that he's meeting Sister Favor is that he wants to shoot his shot. And for those of you that do not know what it means to shoot your shot, it just means to progressively advance in the conviction of a lady towards you. Does that make sense? That's what it means to shoot your shot. Whatever you think it is to progressively advance, right? In helping a lady build proper convictions in your direction. That's so deep. Right? So, but then he's hiding under a pseudo reason, which is what, follow up. Listen, whenever you want to buy something, there are pseudo reasons that will pop up to you. Let me give you an example. You like a skirt. You like a piece of cloth, right? You like it as per you just want to buy it so you can shine in church. There are those people, right? There are people like that want to shine, you know, where they go. Now, the the cloth is expensive. Your actual reason is that you want to wear these clothes and you want to kill them. You have clothes to wear. So now you are a fashion designer, right? Or you are a model. You now give yourself a pseudo reason and tell yourself something like, no, I'm actually a model. When I dress well, I'll be able to get more customers to take me to model. Do you understand? Thereby increasing my capacity to drag in more income. So this dress is an investment. That's a pseudo reason. Does that make sense? So I've said this before. Even if you want to lie, master lying to everybody minus yourself. Did you hear what I said? Master what? Lie to everybody. But when you sit down, you want to buy an iPhone, you say, well, I'm a social media content creator. When I have an iPhone 12, it will be useful in the content creation speed and the quality of the images that are going to, is a lie. You want to buy it because you're under pressure to buy it. Does that make sense? So you must look through and be able to identify pseudo reasons. Normally your budget may be to purchase food. I don't know how much, maybe it's 1,000, whatever. Now you finish an examination. You say, well, since I tried this exam, my results came out well. I think I should spoil myself. On Monday you spoiled yourself. Tuesday you spoiled yourself. 3 days. Every day is to spoil yourself. Even the paper you don't write, you are still spoiling yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are pseudo reasons. Tell yourself the truth and stop yourself. And lastly, let me tell you a very serious secret. Invest before vacation. Did you hear what I said? It's one of the greatest keys. Invest before what? Vacation. Invest before what? Vacation. This is so vital. Once you just begin to say that it is the last week in school and you have 100,000, you know that once you go home, you know to show for you. Invest before you what? Vacate, right? And I'm going to send out a newsletter this week. Most likely. What's today? Today is Sunday. We're going to send out, if not today, early Monday morning. Please go through it. I'm going to be showing you several vital places where you can invest. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's move on so we can quickly wrap this up, right? But I've spent an hour, which was the calculated time, right? So how can you invest? Basically, right? I'll say this quickly. In wealth multiplication, it's simple. You are putting the money somewhere to work. Number one, have a basic risk model of investment. 70-30, meaning I'm putting 70% in safe investments, 30% in risky investments. What are risky investments? What are safe investments? I'm going to expand on all of this in my newsletter this week. I don't want to extend this. 50-50, 50%, don't just say, and now this is it. If you notice where people that are asking where we can get the newsletter, someone in the Trading Bulletin will just post a link to signing up for the newsletter. I think it's bit.ly/capital TWB. Check the channel and get it out for them. Someone will post it soon. Does that make sense? So let me round up. Like I was saying, basic risk model 70-30, 50-50. Listen, riskier models will bring higher returns. Riskier investments, safer investments will bring lower returns. So because of the greed of the humans, what they would usually do is they what? Put all their money in what? Risky investments. Buy the deep. I have done water baptism. I've been messed. I've put it deep. That's not wise. Don't put all your money where your capital can be lost. Does that make sense? I'm going to have another investment webinar sometime soon. And we're hoping to bring somebody up also, but I'm not stressing on this. The major point is what I've stressed on. Number 2, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. This is so important again. Some people don't believe taking courses and all of that is vital. Your head is your first what? Head office. Did you hear what I said? Invest in yourself, right? If I'm not, somebody say buy the deep. right? And I've talked about investment growth versus inflation rate, right? If your investment is yielding 13% in a year, the currency you're investing in, like our wonderful currency, is having an inflation rate is simply the rate at which the currency becomes useless, right? I hear what I'm saying. So now, for example, your country that had an inflation rate of I think 18% last year. I hear what I'm saying. You did an investment of 13% in a year. That means your money plus your returns is still a loss. Plus when you add that 13%, the country experienced 18% inflation. That's I think they have had 6%. You still lost 6% that year. So some of you are not comparing inflation rate and so many other rates. I'm going to be expanding of these things in my newsletter as time goes on. Your investment growth rate must be able to cover for your inflation rate. Are you hearing me? Your what? Investment growth rate must be able to cover for your what? Inflation rate. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This is super vital. What did I say? Your investment, rate should be able to cover for your what? Your investment growth rate should be able to what? Cover your, the inflation rate. It should not be less than, and then you must do your research adequately. And lastly, you must get a financial advisor. On this webinar series, one day we'll have a financial advisor, communicate with us and give us some things you should look at, right? Does that make sense? So I don't want to overflog that issue. So important. Ensure you do your own research. Somebody just came to you and said one coin is going to, there's a coin I was looking at, Solana. I was just on the crypto news. I don't deal in crypto. I don't do all of that. I'm very cautious, right? So I was just reading the news on crypto. Solana was, if you invested $1,000 in Solana in January 2021, by now you have $138,000. My goodness. That's an amazing investment, right? So, that's just an amazing investment, right? So, do your own research. Don't just jump into it. This is so important. And lastly, get a financial advisor, right? We'll talk on that soon. And lastly, as we wrap up this webinar, we are offering you a very serious way to grow your wealth. We're launching our Trade with Bolu mini auto trader this month, the mini version where you can grow your wealth so safe and so slow, from 5 to 15% monthly. I'll be having an extremely low risk. And guess what? We'll give you 100% refund guarantee within your first 30 days. That is, if you ever have any challenge or anything goes wrong, which ordinarily shouldn't, within the first 30 days, we'll give you all the money that you gave us, you paid to us, we'll give it back to you 100%. And it's fully automated and 100% passive. Does that make sense, right? We're having this simply because we want to help you grow passively, right? So for example, someone has done his risk model, he's able to have this 50% into this, right? So all you need to get started is, funding your account to minimum $50, and the software is $65 for 6 months, right? But for everyone on this call, we're going to give it to you at $50, right? So that means you only need $100 in total to get started. That's anywhere around 50,000, 54,000 because of your currency now. So $50, you're funding your account. We are not touching that. It's your capital, which can be withdrawn anytime. And then $50 is what you're using to pay for 6 months for the software for the mini auto trader. It is super safe. And 5 to 15% growth of your accounts. That thing that we looked at was 10% per year. Now imagine 5% per month, your account growing. Like I said, between now and 12 midnight, on Monday, if you're getting your auto trader, you'll be getting it at $50. After that, you get it at what do they call them? Somebody said mini auto trader will welcome you back. I had a lot of people begging me before we got this back. So we're getting it back because it's a way to just sleep and see your money growing. Now, there are 3 advantages. Number 1, it is passive income. You don't need to know how to do anything. Number 2, it is in dollars. So you are guarding against inflation, right? And number 3, you have a guarantee of 30 days. If anything goes wrong within the first 30 days, we will give you all the money you gave us back to you. Does that make sense? So that means, in essence, the only risk you have is 50%. That's $50. Does that make sense, right? So if you're getting it before the end of, Monday, I don't know what time it is in your time zone, you are going to get it at $50 and you have $50 in your account. Our team will set you up. But if you are getting it after Monday, you are getting it at, another price, which is $65, or it may go up. So at the crux of this seminar, guys, I'd like to end with this. You have gained a lot of knowledge. You have known what to do. But listen, do it. Did you hear what I said? Do it. What did I say? Make sure within the next 10 minutes you have started your automation. Strike best when the axe head is hot. This is vital, right? If you are planning to get your auto trader, do it, right? Our team members will do the best to send you emails, right? But like I said, this can change your mind. This can change your life, right? I don't know if Alabi is on this call. We've had some people who have been using this for over 6 months and they haven't had a challenge. Master of the Keys MOK is here. He's also a great financially inclined person. We had some people test run it and it's amazing software, right? One of the most safe forex softwares we've had. Sleep and earn 5 to 15% per year, fully automated, and you have 100% refund guarantee within the first 30 days, right? So you can jump on it or you can sleep on this, right? So we've come to the end of this webinar. And I'm hoping that if you take these actions, just like I said, I'm always emphasizing on taking actions. People say word. Oh, McKelvin, amazing. He's also an auto trader user. He has been an amazing, customer for years now. I remember when they told him, they said, his money is going to be thrown away into the blah, 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 blah. And he took it. And I mean, he is making so much of money, not doing anything. Can you imagine? Right, so that's by the way, guys. So take the step now, right? If you want to get your auto trader, you can either send us an email at tradebolo@gmail.com. You can we'll put all those contacts on the screen right now, so you can make action if you want to do so, right? And if you have any questions, talk to me while I'm free. While I'm free, right? Consultation will not be free in a short time. Right, I could have a session with you. I had a session with a lady. Some of you just need me to help you analyze your finances, give you actual places to put the money, right? So you'll be able to do that. I will be able to help you. You can send us an email, tradebolo.com, or you can send a DM on Telegram to t.me/p_Pierce. That's our public relations officer. She will give you all you need. Between now and 12 midnight tomorrow, we're giving you the discount to purchase your auto trader, $50 for 6 months, right? $50 for 6 months. Once you pay that, you don't need to pay any other thing. Sleep and watch that money grow. It's been an amazing time being with you. Thank you guys for joining in. I'm just going to end this session now. Have a great day, everybody.